My name is Dan Hosier. Here we're going to be going over the banks and kicks category, level 1 shots. And what that means is the rails are going to play a key part in every shot. Shot 1A is a triple reverse bank. What we're going to be doing is trying to bank the 1 back into this pocket. The setup, the 1 goes right on the center of the table, so second diamond, centered between the side pockets, and the cue ball is going to go on the first diamond and centered between the 2 pockets. So the idea of the shot is we're going to hit the 1 into this rail, it will come back to this rail, reverse its course, back to this rail, and come back to the pocket. So in order to do that, we need to have some spin on the 1 so that it can reverse the course. And specifically, we want it rotating so that it would kick back this direction. So what that means is I would need a counterclockwise rotation on the 1, which will stay on, and come back. In order to put counterclockwise on the 1, we have to put clockwise on the cue ball. And my aiming point, I actually aim as if I'm going to shoot the 1 directly onto the point of the pocket. But I'm going to squirt that off with the cue ball by moving my cue to the left to put the spin. I'm not adjusting for the squirt, I'm just shooting it. But again, aiming as if the 1's going to go there. The squirt's going to make me miss, go back here, and we should see a triple reverse back. Shot 1B is a kick shot, and what we're going to do is start with the cue ball on the second diamond, frozen to the rail. We're going to take a blocker ball and put it frozen to the cue ball, also on the second diamond line. We're going to take a setup ball, this 5 is just temporary, and we're going to place the 1 frozen to the setup ball and the blocker ball. Once I've done that, I can remove my setup ball, and that's the complete setup for the shot. Now the way I aim this shot is I like my cue to go over the second quadrant between the first and second diamonds. And so what I mean by that is, here's the full segment, here's half, there's the quarters, and so right here in that second quarter is where I want my cue to be. I'm going to shoot fairly high, about 2 tips up. 12 o'clock English on the cue ball. Shot 1C is another bank shot. What we're actually going to do is try to bank the 1 backwards towards the side pocket. For aiming, I like to set up a point on the rail. You can't do this in a regular game of pool, but you are allowed to do this in trick shot competitions. I'm going to take a chalk and put it 3 balls away from the pocket. And what I mean by that is the cue ball is actually overlapping the pocket, but I'm going to extend the rail with my cue and then put 3 balls with the first ball touching my cue. So I'm going to put that right here. And so it's even with the third ball and even with the line of diamonds. And now I can set up the actual shot. So the 1 and the 15 are going to split the third diamond, and they're frozen to each other. And the cue ball is going to start on the other third diamond on the other side of the table. In order to make the shot, we need to gear the cue ball so that it comes off the rail and backwards. And so what that means is we want it to go counterclockwise. In order to make it go counterclockwise, cue ball needs to go clockwise. I'm going to shoot at about 9 o'clock, a tip and a half away from center. And I'm going to shoot right through the point of the chalk there. So that's my aiming point, 9 o'clock. And there we go. Okay, this is a shot that I actually aim wrong twice. The first mistake I make is I aim so that I would shoot the one directly into the point of the pocket. And what will happen if I do that successfully is I'll hit that point and the one won't go where I want it to go. Now the other mistake I make is I shoot with spin on the cue ball, but I forget to adjust where my aiming point is. Or I'm sorry, I should say I neglect to adjust. So there's where I want to hit the ball, which is just like that. But then I'm going to just come over, aiming at the same angle. And what happens when I shoot that is the cue ball is going to squirt off to the right a little bit. And the combination of those two mistakes lets me make this shot. All right, on any of these rail shots, your ability to make adjustments is going to be key. Especially when you're playing on a table you don't know as well. There will be adjustments that you have to make. In this case, I'm going to show you how to make the adjustments on this rail compression shot. What I've done, I've taken the first through the second diamond and split that into 4 parts. That's just kind of as a visual cue. What I'm going to show here is the further to the left I am, the shorter the one's going to be, which means the one is going to end up on the rail closer to me. The further to the right I go, the longer the one's going to go, which means it's going to go further than the pocket. And so I'm going to shoot too short here, which should miss short of the pocket. And of course I can miss too long by going through this 4th segment. And so I know it needs to be somewhere between here and here. And so I'm going to choose kind of the middle of those, which is back through the 2nd segment, like I showed in the demonstration. So keeping everything the same except for where I'm adjusting the cue, I get the result I want. I do want to show what happens if you go too far to the right, because that's another critical component of the shot is you can't move the blocking ball. If I go too far to the right, I'm going to end up shooting into the blocking ball, which is also not what I want. Okay, adjustment for this shot is done primarily with where I aim my cue as well. I want to, in all cases, have a good full left-hand side hit on the ball so that I have maximum spin on the cue ball. This is where I place my chalk. It's 3 balls off of the cue that's across the rail. And I want to show what happens both when I hit too thin and when I hit too thick. So when I hit too thin, what we should see is the cue ball doesn't have a chance to transfer enough spin onto the one, and so the one doesn't make it all the way back. That's the way most people will end up missing this shot. Very rarely you'll see someone miss by hitting it too thick. And what happens there is the one doesn't have enough oomph to make it all the way to the pocket. I'm going to hit this pretty full, pretty hard. As you can see, basically what happened is I jammed the one, which also isn't what we want to do. So going more towards where we want to go, I'm going to aim right through the center of my chalk. Same hit.